today I'm at 575 Madison in New York City, and my guest is Richard Ferrari. He is president and CEO of Douglas Elliman Northeast region. Hi, Richard.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. So it's an incredible brand. We've been working with Douglas Elliman for years and years. Our partnership is very strong. Your brand is very strong. It's actually, we cherish the relationship that we have with Douglas Elliman because of how wonderful the company is. And your history, you have such rich history. So can we talk a little bit about the history and the brand of Douglas Elliman?
Sure, of course. Well, Douglas Elliman, as you know, is one of the oldest residential firms in the United States. It was founded by Douglas Elliman. Not quite sure. I think it was 1905 or sometime in that region. So we've been in business almost 120 years. And boy, have we changed over those 120 years. Today, we're a firm with close to 7,000 agents from East Coast to West Coast, basically from Los Angeles all the way to Montauk. We're up and down the California coast. We're in Texas. We're in Florida. We're in Aspen. We're obviously in New York City. We're in, and when I say New York City, I should clarify that. We're in Brooklyn. We're in Manhattan. We're in Queens. We're in the Bronx. We're in Westchester, we're in Connecticut, and we're in Boston. And now we're actually in Naples, Florida, as of yesterday, I believe.
Yes, I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And your Long Island market is also very strong, I would say.
Well, Long Island, we're the East End and the Hamptons. We're on the North Shore, and we're on the South Shore.
Exactly. So it's really, you are covering all the best cities in the United States of America.
It's strategic. Mm-hmm. All of our markets feed into themselves. It's not uncommon for a Douglas Elliman client on the South Shore to be transferred to Boston, or someone from the South Shore of Long Island who decides to move into Manhattan or to Los Angeles, or as we know, or to Florida. You know, it's very strategic. Aspen covers the center. Okay, you know, the ski resorts, they're Americans from all over the country. You know, so where our locations are was very strategic planning.
I would say referral business within Douglas Elliman is also very strong. I was fortunate to interview agents and managers from various offices of Douglas Elliman, and their referral business up to 95%. And they managed to work within the company and help each other and help their clients to have a smooth transition. And what's good about it, you have consistent strategy. So when someone is selling their house in New York, for example, and they're moving to Florida, they have exactly the same positive experience in Florida as they just did in New York.
That's correct, because all our Douglas Elliman agents carry two brands, their personal brand and the Douglas Elliman brand. They know how to use both. And the Douglas Elliman brand is the same brand it is in Manhattan, as it is in Los Angeles, as it is in Aspen.
I also noticed that a lot of your agents, especially since pandemic, they always used professional photography and only the best, always invested in floor plans. But now, more and more, they are introducing to their clients like 3D, which is based on Matterport, or videos or drones in some situations, like in Westchester County and Connecticut. You have a lot of drone videos and still photography as well. So how do your agents were able to pivot, were able to adjust, and now they are so creative? Do you have marketing department that is helping them to create the strategy?
We do. We have a very extensive marketing department, but let's go back to pre-COVID.
Okay.
Drones, of course, for our suburban markets were very important pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. Okay. All of our photography, all of our property videos. But then COVID takes place and we're in a lockdown. And a buyer cannot, in certain markets, was not legally permitted to even visit an apartment or a house, depending where it was. All of our marketing tools now became more important to our agents. And we knew we would get out of lockdown. It wasn't something that was going to be here forever. So we adjusted. We saw the value in a 3D tour. Okay, as you know, VHT, I believe we're probably one of your largest, you are probably, I should say, one of our largest vendors, if not our largest vendors. Our photography, some of our drones, our 3D tours, our floor plans, we get through VHT. It's more important now than ever. What COVID did teach us was the first show is not in the home. The first show is online. Mm-hmm. And we educate our sellers to this. How come I'm not getting as many showings? You did. These were the amount of showings you had online. That's the first show. After the online experience connects with the buyer is when the in-person showing takes place. So it's a lot different from how we did business 20 years ago.
I agree with you. It's a lot different and special. And now it's constantly it's going to another level and another level. And everyone in your company, your agents.
The tools will always be defined, redefined, I should say. From what started as before there were even any websites for real estate, whether it was the firm's website or an advertising portal, basically all we had was a floor plan, if we even had a floor plan, because I remember drawing floor plans on my own when there were no floor plan draftsmen coming to New York to actually do a floor plan for you. But we've gone from simple floor plans to a simple picture, a Polaroid picture of a property that was eventually put on a paper brochure, to mailings. It's continuously being redefined. What tools we're going to have 10 years from now, I don't even know. But what we do know is 20 years ago, this didn't mean anything. Now, a real estate broker cannot work without it. Okay. Exactly. And our tools, and, you're in the right business because you're providing us with the best tools. It's not going to stop. And an agent has to be on top of the new technology that's coming out. Every firm has to be on the forefront of what's coming out next. But don't underestimate the value of personal networking, because our top brokers, it's twofold. It's technology on how to do your business in an efficient way but it's also your personal networking that gives you the ability to interpret the technology, interpret the numbers as a professional real estate broker, and speak to your client base.
I totally agree with you. And I also would like to add, I believe that at Douglas Elliman, your management level, senior management, office managers, they are well trained. All of them had to go through some kind of real estate related experience to understand what the agent goes through.
We have about 120 offices, so I can't speak for every sales manager or every sales director at Douglas Elliman. But of the ones that I know, and that's plenty of them, we've all been residential brokers. I mean, I'm a little bit of a unique hybrid. I've been in the industry for 32 years.
Oh my goodness.
28 years of that was in sales. Okay. I did have 4 years as a sales director with my previous firm, but my 16 plus years as a Douglas Elliman agent, really ended up giving me the training that I needed for my job today. But I fully understand an agent. I'm 8 weeks into the job as president and CEO of the Douglas Elliman Northeast region.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I started on a Monday. I was showing apartments on a Friday before that still.
No vacation in between.
No vacation in between. And for most real estate brokers, because we love what we do, it is work, but it's the type of work that you look forward to getting up in the morning to go out. And whether you're meeting a buyer and seller, whether you're in the office, whether you're previewing, whether you're doing research, you have to love what you do as a residential broker. And most residential brokers do love what they do. Why? We rarely ever retire. It's something we're unique industry as a 1099 employee. And most residential brokers do it for the long haul. It's not a fly-by-night career. It's changed. When I became a broker, I would say 95% of all brokers was a second or third career. Today, we have college grads wanting to enter the industry right out of college, which is actually a good thing. But there are also more platforms now for younger agents to enter the industry. Douglas Elliman does an unbelievable job in promoting teams and groups. And there's obviously the value to the firm is the high GCI that a team and a group can achieve, because anytime you're putting 4 professionals together, 5 professionals, 6 professionals together, the chances of success are much greater than, in some instances, an individual broker. But we do have individual brokers that are super successful. But for someone young coming in, they're getting a twofold training. Douglas Elliman, in my opinion, has the best training in the industry in the New York area. Okay, it's a daily basis right now of a Zoom webinar, a training class. There's always something going on at Douglas Elliman on a daily basis that you as an agent can learn from. I still learn from them. When I have the time, I'm clicking on to see what's happening today, and I still learn from it. But a younger agent can also learn from other team members and from colleagues. So coming into the industry today is twofold. It's not what we had years ago.
I agree with you. And I believe in teams because you can brainstorm together. You come up with great ideas together. You learn from each other. You communicate and you cover for each other. So never does your seller or your buyer, any client, will go without attention because you have a team.
Correct.
And if one is on vacation or booked or doing showings all day long, you have someone else to cover for that person.
But Lucy, remember, there's different forms of teams. There are the ABC real estate broker team, with a team leader who founded the team. And there are also teams that happen organically. My days as an agent, one of the reasons I was successful, I didn't have an actual team that had the name of a team, but I did work with agents. We all had our own GCI. We didn't even know we were a team, but we worked as a team. We covered for each other. We shared portions of each other's listings. We needed each other on a pitch to feel stronger. Okay, we shared our listings on each other's websites the same way a team does, but we didn't call ourselves a team. Mm-hmm. And that is still happening today. There are independent brokers at Douglas Elliman work together. They learn from each other. The number one complaint I hear about because of COVID that not as many people come to the office, they're not learning. They're not learning from experience. They're not able to speak to their colleagues about a new listing that came on or a new listing that is coming on, or about a sale that took place, what an amazing price, or what a low price it was. All of that interaction is what makes a residential real estate broker, which is the importance of someday everyone is back in the office the way it was pre-COVID. We learned more, okay? It was easier to gain knowledge. You can do the work from home. We've all proved that. As you know, forget sales volume above 2020. 2020, we had almost 4 months where we weren't really allowed to work. But just the increase in sales volume from 2019 and 2018 tells the full story. So yes, a broker can work from home. I mean, I changed my habits as a broker last year. I had a scanner from home, which I never had before, which made all the difference. I signed into DocuSign, which I never had before. I adjusted. I was able to do work from home because I wasn't going to the office. But that office experience, you don't learn. You don't have that experience when you work from home.
Oh, I agree with you. I enjoy coming to the office. I really miss having an office, that's for sure. But I hope everyone will come back to the office soon. And I can see that more and more agents are coming back. Maybe not 100%, obviously, not even 50, but at least 25, 30% more.
We are. Yesterday was a very busy day in the office, which, I was always predicting, post-Labor Day, we are. And yes, I mean, the sense of COVID has not gone away, as we all know, but wearing a mask and being vaccinated always helps the scenario. But we're at a point right now where everyone wants to get back to work.
I would like to touch base on a new agent, if you can say
sure.
New agent.
A new agent coming into the business. I'm not going to say it's easier today than what it was when I became a new agent. There's more tools, which we briefly, when I became a new agent, how I learned the inventory was walking up and down Central Park, West or Park Avenue or Fifth Avenue and taking notes on buildings. I did have a listing system. Then I went back to a listing system, but a listing system didn't have pictures in those days. Today, a new agent, all the information is at their fingertips. They have to study it. But it's a studying of what technology tells you our marketplace is and experiencing it firsthand. It still goes hand in hand. But a new agent coming in now, there are tools to get business. When I was a new agent, it was a walk into the office was really the only way other than self-promoting yourself. Today, firms help. Our marketing department through social media, through whatever the agent wants, can promote themselves. It's a lot easier and a lot faster. The promotion goes. Your success is broadcasted through social media from a lot of agents. And trust me, people want to work with successful brokers. So for a new agent, social media is so important on advertising their success to their network on social media.
And if you talk about, I don't like the word seasoned agents because all
it's not, there's no form of a seasoned agent. A seasoned agent means it sounds like you've learned everything and you're done. Okay. I am not a seasoned agent. I learn every week the same way as a new agent does because everything is evolving. Our marketplace evolves every day. New listings coming on, new listings that sell different price points. New technology, new neighborhoods, new areas. Certain boom neighborhoods today barely existed. New developments compared to most people in New York City today think it's a seller's market and it's a seller's market. In many areas of the city, it is a seller's market, but not in every area. And even in a seller's market, we'll just say the West Village is a seller's market, which it is. There are pockets that are not. There's individual apartments that are not selling. Why? They may be overpriced. In relationship to the amount of work that they need. It's very costly to do a renovation today and very time consuming.
What about Westchester, Connecticut, Boston?
Well, it's funny. I was in Boston on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, and our agents in Boston were telling me that the average property that they put on the market, and this isn't on a chart, they know it's a week to 2 weeks before they have an accepted offer. Actually up there, they call it a P&S, purchase and sales agreement, different from New York City, which, from what I'm told and what I'm witnessing, there is such a demand for housing in the Boston area. And as we know, as New Yorkers, Westchester, Northern New Jersey, Southern Connecticut, and Long Island, the New York suburbs, it's the same. The American dream was founded on owning a home. Okay, which post-World War II became the dream for most Americans. We're back there now. Okay, a whole new, where did all these buyers come from? Yes, interest rates are low right now, but there's a sense of your home, the importance of your home. And in the American dream, that typically is owning your home. You're not subject to a landlord. You can renovate. You can, within the legal limits of that home, you can do what you want. You don't need a condo board or a co-op board telling you what to do. Yet for other Americans, the American dream is a condominium or a co-op. It's their choice. But whether it's a single family home, a condominium apartment, or a co-op apartment, it's ownership. It's yours. It's part of the dream. We sell physical homes. We also sell a lifestyle. And that's what a good residential real estate broker always knows. You're selling the bricks and mortar and the lifestyle that goes with that bricks and mortar. For a buyer, there's always a fantasy when they look at a beautiful home. A beautiful home can be a studio apartment. It can be a 1-bedroom. It can be a 10-bedroom house, okay, or a 10-bedroom apartment. But you're selling the bricks and mortar and the fantasy of that home. That's where the value of a residential real estate broker comes in. Okay, anyone can read stats off of a show sheet or on a website on the square footage when it was built. but a residential broker who knows what they're doing, knows what that lifestyle will bring and what it will mean to that individual, that family, whatever the makeup is on today's modern American family, on what the future will bring on happiness in that home.
And I believe in a story. Every house has a story.
Every house has a story. It's how the house was built, what was there before the house. I've owned 200-year-old homes, and right now I own a 100-year-old home in Montclair, New Jersey. And even on that, the story was when I bought the house 5 years ago, the original owner's correspondence with the builder and architect was there. So I saw the story. I saw where the paneling in my living room came from. I saw the vendor who put the floors in. I even was able to read the receipts from the original oil burner, actually coal burner, I should say. But everything has a story. And then I traced back for the 5 owners. I'm the 5th owner of the house, on how it was all different. But the neighborhood hasn't changed, because most of the homes in the neighborhood were all built in the 1920s, so it pretty much looks the same. New York City, whether you live in a pre-war, as an agent, my first inclination was, what war are they talking about pre-war? We talk about World War II, but actually what you learn as an agent is the pre-World War I vintage apartment is so different from the 1920s vintage apartment post-World War I. Pre-World War I had very few closets and very few bathrooms. Post-World War I in the 1920s had closets and bathrooms. Post-war 1945, basically the 1950s and 60s vintage, had large closets and more bathrooms and larger windows and central air conditioning. So a good age. So it's, what is the story? It's when you're in an apartment, and always remember, whether it's an apartment or a single family home, someone was the first owner. Someone enjoyed, I mean, in a single family house, did a bride walk down that staircase in a wedding gown before they were leaving the house to get married? Probably, in many instances, not all. Was, family celebrations, individual triumphs take place in a home. And that's what we sell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. And again, I believe once we were, it was on Long Island, and it was one of the Vanderbilt's properties, and the seller was telling us, in this beautiful, absolutely magnificent, huge dining room, how every year for the last 25 years they had Thanksgiving dinner, and how she saw her children grow up there and her grandkids were born. And it was very touching. And she was telling me those stories and how she would create special recipes every year. And she loved to cook herself. So yes, it's a story. So if I were to buy the house, I would vision myself and my family, though I don't have that many people to invite to that dining room. But I would vision myself to have, to host a Thanksgiving dinner.
Wednesday, I previewed in Beverly, Massachusetts, one of our firm's listings, which I believe it's on the water, and it was stunning. I believe it was a Vanderbilt residence, but it may not have been, but it was from the Gilded Age. And 20,000 square feet, 10 bedrooms on the water. It was stunning. And you can imagine the reasons why the first builder built it to the reasons why someone will buy it today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And having said that, I just wanted to finish on a very positive, wonderful note. How great it is to meet you and to have that conversation. I'm so impressed with Douglas Elliman senior management and how you are able to build that environment that agents feel proud to be part of your brand and build their brand around it.
Well, part of it is the theory. When I was an agent, my clients were buyers and sellers. There still are clients of the firms that are buyers and sellers. But in my mind, my new clients are all the agents that work under me. I work for them.
Well, thank you, Richard. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Cheers.